you ready to get your shit together? Isn't that what we are all truly trying to do? In this fun, life hack-full show, we will learn together how to navigate this roller coaster called life. We, as glorious messy humans, can sit in the proverbial third car, grumpy and bored, or in the front of the roller coaster having the time of our lives. What do you choose? In this show, you can expect meaningful content and practical takeaway tools to make life easier and exceptionally more joyful. There will be epic guests who already love their lives, allowing them to share their get your shit together tips and words of wisdom. Life is too long and too short to not love your life. Welcome to Get Your Shit Together Live with Amy Joy. Hello, welcome to Get Your Shit Together Live with Amy Joy, and I'm your host, Amy Joy. Happy Thursday, and congratulations on your abundance. I want you right now to take a minute to look around at all of your abundance. Maybe you have food in your belly, or you're preparing food right now. Maybe you have some kids running around, making some noise. Take it all in. Think about the people that you love and that love you. We are all so abundant, and the more we can acknowledge and take that in, the better our lives are. So congratulations on your abundance. We have a fun, full life hack full show for you today. I'm very excited to introduce you to the amazing Sean Knudsen. He is a veteran. He's a dog trainer. He's a speaker. He's an author. He's so many things. And he is one of my friends, and I'm very proud to introduce you to him. So if you're a dog lover, if you're a veteran, this is the show for you. He's going to give us some tricks and tips on how to train our dogs and also what not to do. So stay tuned. You'll want to stay tuned to the end too, to catch mantra magic, and the blessing and meditation at the end. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking your very precious time to spend it with me, and glad to be here together. If you're on Facebook, those of you on Facebook, I see you. It's so nice that you're here and that you can interact. Hey, Lacey, Dylan, so awesome that you guys are here. Thank you. Anybody else who is there, please interact. Please let us know where you're from. That would be awesome. Perfect. So right now, it is time for, wait for it. I got a new, they call them bumpers, the little space there. So it's time to change your state, elevate. This is the segment where we take 2 minutes to just really change our frequency. We're all energy, right? And there's low frequency and there's high frequency energy. And the low frequency is all the suffering, all the anger and the shame and the guilt and the frustration. And, we do enough of it, right? But the high frequency is love, unconditional love, joy, peace, calm, appreciation, gratitude. These are all high frequency. And it takes this fast to be able to change our state, to go from suffering to not suffering. And we're going to do that today by smiling. Smiling is one of the fastest ways to become present. And when you're present, you're here right now. You're not in your messed up past or your messed up future. You're just here right now. Put a yes in the chat if you have been walking down the street and someone randomly smiles at you, and how that can literally change your day, or at least that moment, right? And it's smiling is the best. So I want you just to take a minute, stop whatever you're doing. And I know you may think I'm weird. I'm okay with that. But I want you to smile anyways. I want you to think about a funny thing on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or something that happened, or your kids. If you have kids right now, get them to smile with you and just take a minute to smile. And now I want you to pay attention. Do you feel any different from a few moments ago? Right? It takes this much time to change our state. So remember to smile. Awesome. Okay, now it is time for get your shit together. This is the time where we get some nuggets, where we talk and answer the question of the week. So here it is. Ready? Awesome. So, what is the question of the week? The question of the week is this: how do you live a balanced life, and is it even possible to do so? How do you live a balanced life, and is it even possible to do so? So, here's what I believe. I believe it isn't possible. And you're all going, what? So here's the deal. If we're talking about perfectly balanced, then no, it's not possible, because we are glorious, messy humans, right? We live in an imperfect world. All right. But can we get close? Heck yeah. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay. So how do you live a balanced life, and is it possible? No, it's not completely possible to be perfectly balanced, but yes, it is possible to live a balanced life. And so how do you do that? Well, I was at a Tony Robbins event called Date with Destiny, and it's one of my most favorite personal growth events. And there was this moment where he says to the crowd of about 5,000 people, he says, I'm going to yell a word, and I want you to do whatever you feel you need to do when you hear me yell this word. And so in Tony fashion, if you know Tony Robbins, he's massive, right? So he literally yells and reaches his chest out and does this, and he yells, freedom, like out of Braveheart, right? So about half of the group was men, and the group, about 2,500 men and me, stood up and went, ah! like warriors. And I realized that I was the only female standing, and I sat my butt back down, and I thought, oh, I might be out of balance here. I have been in my masculine energy for as long as I can remember. I was a tomboy. I ran with the boys. I played on a men's soccer team. We traveled. I was the only woman in the league up until I was 30 years old. I played on a men's hockey team. Like I have got that muscle down. But what I didn't have was the female energy. Now, so this is one of the things. This is one of the 9 things to pay attention to. So how do you balance your life? There's 9 things to pay attention to, one of which is balancing the male and female energy, okay? Now, I know this is a touchy subject. I'm not intending to hurt anyone. I'm only speaking from my experience, all right? I believe we have male and female energy both inside us, and there's times to call on one or the other, yeah? So I'm going to show this to you. Here, hope you can see that. All right. So there's 9 things to pay attention to, one of which is balancing the male and female. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to watch next week's episode, because we're going to dive in deep into this subject of how to balance the male and female energy, because I think it's super important. It's something we're not taught, and it completely changes your life. Okay, so the first one here I have is balance your male and female energy. The next one here is your physical body, your emotions, relationships, your time, your work or career or mission, the fun things. Are you doing any fun things? Your finances and your spiritual and contribution. So that doesn't necessarily mean church. It just means how are you with your spirituality, with the fact that you are a 5-dimensional human being, right? We have a spirit aspect, we have a physical aspect, we have emotional aspect, and we're multidimensional, right? So here's this beautiful chart. I want you to take a picture of it because you won't remember this tomorrow. Take a picture of it, and where there's not enough time here. This is a whole class, okay? This is basically this is hours and hours I could go into this, but this is a quick little nugget for you to grab and do on your own. So take a picture of that. And then what you want to do, here's the first step. You want to fill it in, okay? So 0 is in the middle and 10 is on the outside. And I want you to measure yourself. How am I doing on a scale of 0 to 10 in this area? And I want you to be kind and honest, all right? Don't think too hard. Just answer. And then once you see it, if it's a 7, put a 7 across and then shade it in, just like this one. Okay, now I've never seen somebody fill this out for the first time that doesn't have a wheel, that looks like that. Mine looked very, very similar to that one when I first did this is called the Wheel of Life, all right? And this is my specific Wheel of Life that I believe are the 9 areas to pay attention. And isn't it awesome that it's only 9? It's not 30. It's only 9 things that we have to pay attention to. And when we pay attention to these 9 things, it completely changes the course of your life. Completely. I can speak from experience. Okay, so what if your wheel, which I'm assuming looks kind of like this, was on the wheels on your car? And that's how you're going through life. With bumpy, very bumpy, unbalanced wheels. Kind of makes sense, right? When you look at your life and you can see some of the ups and downs that go with it. And some of them are big ups and big downs, right? Well, if you're driving around with a car like that, what can you expect, right? So fill that out. Or you could be driving not on a perfectly balanced wheel, but on beautiful tires. Maybe some are blown up a little higher than the other. I picked this car because it looked cool and I like blue. You could have the wind in your hair and you're floating through life. You know, there's bumps, but you go over them easily. They're not too big of a deal, right? Completely different experience. All right. So here are the steps. Take a picture of this too. All right. So step 1, ask yourself, where am I in each category? And be kind and honest to yourself. We did that. Then you're going to fill it in. And then you're going to ask, what do I need to do, or who do I need to be to get from where I am to where I want to be? This is one of the best questions you could ever ask yourself. What do I have to do, or who do I have to be to get from where I am to where I want to be? All right. So if it's in your physical body and you're at a 7, but you'd like to be at a 9.5, what do you got to do health-wise, exercise-wise to get there? Make sense? If your emotions are all over the place and you're not in control of your emotions, what do you got to do? Who do you got to see? What coach do you need to hire? What do you got to do to get from where you are to where you want to be? Because doing the same thing isn't going to get you there, right? You got to do something different. And then number 3, answer the question, why do I need to get there? Why is it important? And the other question is, what is the cost if I don't? If I just stay at a 3 in this category, what is the cost over time? Right? So pay attention. And then number 4, do it. Do whatever it is that you need to do. Take action. Ask yourself, what can I do right now to add value to this area of my life? And I'm telling you, as you pay attention, your wheel is going to get bigger and rounder, and you're going to see the evidence in your life as you flow and ride through it. So, all right, hope that makes sense to you. Take a picture of that. If you would like to know more, it is in chapter 5 of Get Your Shit Together, the book that I have just published. You can get it there. There's a QR code at Amy Joy Coaching. I have a free gift for you. You can download a free chapter of the book. If you want to go straight to it, you can go to getyourshittogether.life. There's a QR code on the right there, and go straight to Amazon. And you can dive in deeper, lots more questions, and it'll take you step by step on this process so that you can get your shit together just a little more, and you can get the tires on your proverbial car round and full of air, and you can enjoy your life that much more. All right. Thank you. In the chat there, I'd love to hear from you guys. Oops, 1 second. All right. I am very excited to introduce you to the It is time to introduce you to the guest of the week. And today's guest is Sean Knudsen. Sean is a father of 5 beautiful children, an entrepreneur, speaker, and author. Sean has served 21 years in the Army National Guard and on a federal SWAT team. He now helps veterans with their mindset, working with them on finding purpose, connection, and companionship. He trains service dogs and donates them to the veterans. Isn't that amazing? Put your hands together, drum roll, lots of hearts and love in the chat for Sean Knudsen.
Thank you. Thank you so much. What an introduction. I appreciate it.
So great to see you, my friend. So great to see you.
So great to be here. Loved what you're talking about, the balance, your badassery. I saw that in Mexico playing soccer. You're amazing. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, we did. We totally played together, didn't we?
You tore it up, yeah.
It was fun. We actually, Sean and I shared a retreat together at my new retreat center at Upaya Retreat Center here in Cabo. And we spent a beautiful morning at the orphanage here in town called Casa Hogar. And we got to play soccer with the kids.
Yeah, we got our butts kicked by a bunch of little kids. It was pretty fun.
They cleaned up. They
did.
They killed us pretty much. But we held our own, I guess, better than most groups.
Yeah.
So this is our claim to fame. Yeah. All right, Sean. Well, before we get into the interview, I would love for you to just take a minute to connect with the audience and tell them and share with them, who is Sean?
Okay. You mentioned a bunch of things that I've done. I would say that the big thing about me now is that, earlier in life, I really was into studying self-improvement, personal improvement, got in the military, SWAT team, and just had this mindset that I could conquer anything, that I could do anything, that no problem was too big, no challenge too great. I was up for it. I would just work my way through it. And, it didn't matter how much pain I went through. I was just going to keep going. And it wasn't until, then I had PTSD. I had a rough home life. I, went to Iraq, and I started struggling with some of these mental issues I was having with PTSD, anger, and other things. And I finally got to a point that I just couldn't keep living that way. I just needed, something had to change, something had to give. And the moment came, and this is how I got into dog training. I started training a puppy, and that puppy helped me to start to change my mindset to accept things the way they are. And that's probably been my biggest journey from that point to now, is learning to just be honest and accept things the way they are, whether it's people, my situation. I've always been super optimistic, super positive, and thought I could just, you've probably heard of toxic positivity. That was me for a long time. Like, no matter what, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, without being realistic about where I'm at and the people around me and what I was going through. And so I just kept fighting and kept fighting. I tell people, it's like that fly you see in your pickup truck that just hits its head against that back door, even when the side windows are open and it won't change directions. That's what I was doing. And now I'm just so grateful to be in a place where I'm able to accept the reality of where I'm at. And it's, if you don't know where you are, Like in the military, you're doing land navigation, trying to find a place. If you don't know where you are, you can't get to where you're going. And so that's really been the biggest factor in my life. Since then, I've gotten help with therapists, psychologists, coaches, working with our mutual friend Rudy, who's been on the show, and it's just been an incredible journey of just improving my mindset, improving my mental health, just finding that peace, happiness, and joy in life. And now I have the opportunity to help other people, and I just love what I'm doing.
Yay. Well, I love you. I've seen two
Thank you.
of
I
your
love you
puppies
too.
that you've trained, and you are a fantastic human. And the planet is a better place with you on it, Sean.
Thank
So
you. I really appreciate that.
no, it's the truth. It's the truth. So I always like to ask my guests the question of the week, which is, how do you live a balanced life? And is it even possible to do so? So what would you say? What are your tips and tricks on that?
I agree with what you said. I think it is difficult to find a balanced life. And that's been one of my problems. When I was struggling the most, I was a workaholic. I would just work 15, 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. And my work was an escape. It was just,
Yeah.
I could avoid my reality by just putting my head down and just digging in, and everything else went out the door. My personal health, my mindset, my relationships, I just focused on that. And so I really can see that, like at that time, your diagram, I was one big bump, and trying to make it just ridiculous trying to drive that way. It's just
Right.
sustainable. So I love the what you did, that diagram of helping me find that balance. And I do think it is difficult, but I do believe it's something it is important. And I would say that's a great self-awareness exercise, because like myself, I wasn't being aware, I wasn't being honest with myself about where I was at. And so that type of exercise, I think it's great to be able to figure that out and see where maybe I can make some improvements, and maybe even some small improvements could really help you get to where you want to go.
Yay, I so agree. Thank you for that, because it's about awareness. This whole show is about awareness. We have to wake up to what we're
Absolutely.
thinking and what we're doing and how we're feeling in order to make shifts.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
otherwise we're zombies. We're on the program, and we're not even aware, right?
Yeah,
So when I did that wheel, I was shocked. Like, seriously, I thought I was doing pretty well
yeah,
until I got honest with that exercise. And to look at it like that in black and white
yeah,
is a great way to wake us up.
yeah,
And again, it's about being honest, right? And kind, not over, kind, and not under kind.
yeah.
Just, this is the way that it is.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
no guilt or shame about it. So I
Yeah,
hope you're listening. No guilt or shame. Guilt and shame is low frequency.
absolutely.
This is about just knowing where you are so that you can fix it. So, funny story, check this out. Look at this.
Okay, here's the
This is
Maserati.
one of my cars
Just needs
that
a little
I
bit of love.
have in case one of my kids' cars breaks. And this happened today.
Oh, goodness.
Here I
I
am
don't think it's supposed
talking
to be
about,
like
no, really, like, here I am talking about wheels and them needing to be
that.
round and not flat. And I get a call from my friend going, the drive shaft just disconnected from the wheel.
That's so funny.
So
It's
yeah,
a
it's
little
literally,
synchronicity.
yeah, kind of. So it's right there on the side of the road. I'm going to have to deal with
Oh,
that after
goodness.
the show and get a tow truck and all of that. But it's great. It's a great reminder, and it helps me remember how grateful I am for how the car normally runs. It normally
Absolutely.
runs well.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
when you have a problem, then you put attention on it, and then it won't be a problem anymore, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that.
Yay, awesome. So tell me, how did you get involved with dog training?
I came back from Iraq in 2008 after serving over there for a year, and I was really struggling with my mindset. I had like a lot of anger issues, and I had grown up in a very violent home. So going to Iraq kind of triggered a lot of
Hmm.
mental issues I had suppressed, I guess. So they all came out when I came home, and I was really struggling. The crazy thing about Iraq is that it became our reality, the soldiers that were there. And then when we came home, it felt like Disneyland. Like, if you can imagine the experience of walking into an amusement park for your first time, it's so fun. And so, it's not in a realistic environment. And that's how it felt coming home from Iraq. There was blue skies, green grass, kids running around, the safe environment. And it seemed like Disneyland. And I was just struggling to deal with the change. So we spend years getting ready to go to war. And then when you come home, you basically have a briefing. All right, this is what you're going to expect. You come home. So I was struggling with all of these things, and I got a puppy, started training the puppy. And honestly, that puppy began kind of my spiritual awakening, my mindset journey, because working with the puppy, dogs are very present. They don't care about yesterday. They don't care about tomorrow. They don't care if they're in a Lamborghini or that beat up car that you showed. They don't care. They just want to be with you. You ask them to go for a walk and they just get so excited. So working with this puppy and just being present with the puppy helped me. But the big thing that helped was that I learned if the puppy makes a mistake, it's my fault. It's not the puppy's fault. I was too quick, expected too much. My timing was off, a number of things that I did wrong, and the puppy made a mistake. And so that thought, I started to think, well, maybe it's the same way with my children and other civilians, because one of the hardest things was to see how other people would get so upset by trivial things. Oh, this grocery line is taking so long, or this traffic, and being, coming from Iraq, you're like, really? This is not a big deal. This is nothing to get upset about. And so it was easy to get upset at other people and just be impatient and frustrated with them. But, to them, it was a big deal. But I just understood from working with this puppy that I just needed to accept them for the way they are. And especially my children. And this is something I'm still working on. This has been years going through this process. But that thought kind of became that seed that started to bloom. And it really helped me to open up my mind to just accepting and being patient with people. And since then, as I've progressed, I've learned that, accepting people and accepting your situation, sometimes, if you're not accepting somebody and you're trying to change them, that's toxic. That's unhealthy. You can't change people. Sometimes loving people and accepting them is setting up boundaries, and sometimes it's separating yourself from them. And I had to learn that, over the years that I went through this process. And so that's how I got into dog training. And because of the experience I had with working with this puppy, and so I trained my own service dog, trained a national champion dog. I've wanted to have this experience for other veterans. And so that's why I help to offer free training. We donate service dogs because hopefully I've lost quite a few friends since they've come home. And I would like to help as many veterans as I can to have this same experience. One of the big things that we miss out on when we leave the military or we come home from something like that is that we had all of our buddies around us. We had the battle buddies that we were close to, that we supported each other, we helped each other. And then you come home, even if you have a family, they don't understand, they don't relate, they don't know what you went through. And so you lose that companionship. And so that's where a dog is great, because they're just so present. They don't care. They just want to be with you. They want to share that energy with you. And it creates this companionship that can help them with the companionship they've missed from leaving the military.
Absolutely. There's a couple things I want to speak to. I really can relate to the culture shock. When I lived in Papua New Guinea in the middle of the jungle, it was fairly, literally in the middle of nowhere, only by helicopter, having to deal with medical things, stitching people up, pulling arrows out of people's legs and dealing with that. And our lives were continuously threatened as well. So we would have to evacuate all of a sudden, and we had contingency plans to take off go down this trail to the river and disappear in case the neighboring tribe came. And you know what I mean? It was a lot, and it was kind of stinky, and you know what I mean? There was some things about it. And I remember I flew to Australia, and I came down the gangplank, and then when there was an elevator, and I just remember the elevator opened to a perfume store. And all the mirrors and the lights and the smell, and I literally went, oh, and I stood there for the doors closed. I didn't make it out of the elevator. I was so stunned at the beauty of it. But then, of course, dealing with the culture shock of being back. And you're right, we don't take what did you say? Appreciate what we have, that we are most of the time safe, and that we are most of the time clean, and we do have all the abundance that we have.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
So I'm so I can relate to that. And then with loving people where they're at, I love that. Matt Kahn taught me this: understanding replaces forgiveness in the mind of the master. You don't even have to ask for forgiveness from a puppy who jumps up and scratches your legs, because it's a puppy, right? You don't have to get upset at people for doing silly things, because it's where they're at in their awareness of what's going on around them. And they're not, most people aren't doing things on purpose to really be unkind. They're in their own suffering. Right.
Absolutely.
So I love that you're helping veterans in this way. It's so beautiful. We're going to go to a brief commercial, but stay tuned, because Sean has a gift for our audience today, and it's great. And he's going to talk more about dog training and what to do and what not to do. So stay tuned after these brief moments. All right. We're back. Sorry, I was slow on the draw. Oh, goodness. All right. So travel is one of my favorite things. And sometimes travel, it kind of knocks us around a little bit and makes it evident that we need to get our shit together in some way. What travel experience, what is that true for you?
As far as what experience I've had?
Just noticing something in your life while you're traveling that you're like, like I need to do it different.
Yeah. That's so for me, one of my favorite, and I have not done a lot of traveling outside of the military. So the military, I've been all over Europe, Iraq, and all over the world with the military. But I have not done a lot of traveling until recently on my own. And outside of that, my first trip was to Costa Rica, this just a few months ago with my daughter. And it was honestly an amazing experience. Just being able to be in the ocean. That's the trip.
You mean this trip?
Yeah, that was it. That's my daughter right there. And to just be able to, the waves of the ocean, to get in the water. And I actually had this experience where salt water, obviously you float much more than fresh water.
Yeah.
And which I had heard that, but I didn't realize it. So I swam way out in the ocean, and I just laid there and I floated on my back. And I just kind of did like a meditation. And I just was like, everything, as I just closed my eyes and I just moved with the waves. And I just said, everything that I'm dreaming of is coming to me. I'm where I'm supposed to be. And I just kind of kept saying that over to myself. And I realized I need to have more of that confidence in my personal life, that I need. And it kind of goes back to just accepting. I need to accept where I'm at and accept that I'm where I'm supposed to be. That life, like you always say, life is happening for me, not to me. And I need to be accepting and open to receiving everything that the universe has for me.
Aho, put hearts in the chat if that resonates with you. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome. So tell us, what do you have for the audience today, Sean?
So I have an article that is the 7 really common things I see that people do wrong with their dogs. They're pretty basic things, but if you apply them to your relationship with your dog, you're going to significantly improve that relationship. And the thing that's the most difficult is that, we love these dogs. And I believe that, looking into a fire is a cathartic experience. It's something we have done for millions of years. I believe the same thing is true of dogs. So they've proven that dogs and humans are the 2 closest related species on the earth, not through DNA, but our proximity and the way that we work together. There's no other 2 species that are as close as we are. We've worked with them for thousands of years. So petting that dog, I believe, is that same kind of experience as looking into that fire. It's something our ancestors have done for thousands of years, and it releases that oxytocin, and it just, something in your DNA tells you that this is right, which makes it even more frustrating when you bring this dog in to have this great experience and it's barking and attacking people and having accidents and chewing up your stuff. It almost feels like a betrayal, like this family member is just letting you down and you can't trust them. And so it becomes a very frustrating experience. And so I want to help you with that. I want you to take care of these 7 really core things that are going to improve your relationship with your dog so that you can have that experience where you find that peace and that love in your home with your companion, with your dog.
What would you say is your number 1 tip that you could share with the audience right now?
Probably,
and I encourage you all, 1 second, Sean, I just want to go to We Love Dogs Training MDR, which stands for Mountain Dog Resort.com. Go to We Love Dog Training MDR.com, and that's where you can receive the list of 7 things not to do, right?
It's under media right now. We're getting a button put up there so you can go right to it. But if you look up media, the article is there.
Perfect.
I would say probably the number 1 thing is that most people misunderstand how dogs think. So dogs, they are stimulus and response. They don't have cognitive reasoning. So if a baby cries, we pick them up, we pat their back, we do that instinctively. And the baby, even at a very young age, it has that cognitive reasoning that it understands. They're telling me that it's going to be okay. A dog doesn't have that. So if a dog starts whining and we start petting it and hugging it, we are reinforcing that anxious behavior. And so the dog goes, oh, if I whine, they're going to pet me. And as the dog escalates the whining, we escalate the attention. And then the dog growls at somebody because this spirals. The dog's mindset becomes so anxious because we're reinforcing that anxiety that someone comes up to it in that state of mind, and all of a sudden it's growling or barking or maybe nips at them, and all of a sudden we bring it, oh, come here, baby, and we're petting them and just reinforcing. So we can unintentionally make a dog that just had a little bit of anxiety, we can actually make it aggressive. And so I tell people, you need to separate yourself, tell the dog no, and then reward the dog with food, praise, and affection when it's being good. So every time you touch, talk to, or give treats to a dog, you are reinforcing whatever the dog is doing in that moment. So we need to be careful about how we communicate with our dog.
Whoa. Can you say that again? Whenever you talk,
Talk,
touch.
yeah, talk to, touch, feed, praise. Anytime you give your dog attention, you are rewarding them for whatever it is they're doing.
Put a 1 in the chat if you did not know this, or you are guilty. No guilt or shame, just noticing.
Right.
Just noticing. I have done that. I have done that.
Yeah.
I have absolutely done that. I rescued a German Shepherd, and
yep, it's counterintuitive. It's we do what's instinctive for kids, not understanding that dogs think differently.
So you separate, you say no, you separate yourself from them, and when they calm down, then you reward them with touch, talk, praise, or treats.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Woo! That's amazing. Thank you for that.
Yeah,
all right.
absolutely.
And I'm sure there's the rest of the list is just as powerful. So check that out. Sean, that was a beautiful hack for dogs. What is your number one life hack for humans?
It goes back to just being honest with yourself, being, accepting things for the way they are, because we can delude ourselves into thinking that this path I'm on is going to be amazing. And maybe it's not at all. Maybe you're on the completely wrong path. And maybe you're doing things because you think that's what society or other people or your religion or whoever else, whatever else, family, friends, maybe you think that's what you are doing it because that's what they want you to do. And so you think that you're on the right path. Or maybe a relationship, you think it's a great relationship, or that you think you can help this person and they're going to get better. And so my life hack is to just wake up, open your eyes, and accept things the way that they really are. Because if you don't know where you are, you're never going to get where you want to be. So just have that starting point of just accepting. And this really opens you up to having, in my opinion, true love. Like unconditional love is accepting people. Loving someone unconditionally is not trying to change them, it's accepting them. And then loving yourself is sometimes setting those boundaries that we had talked about. And just making sure that you just love and accept everything in the world the way it is. And then you can find where you truly want to go and move yourself in that direction.
Absolutely. Thank you. Now you've just written a book, right? We're almost out of time, but I want to hear about it. What's it called? How can we find it?
It's your guide to dog training, and it will be out next month. So it'll be on our website and our social media, and it's basically everything I've learned after training thousands of dogs.
Your guide to dog training.
Yeah.
Your guide to dog training. Go to Dogs for Veterans on Insta and you'll see any updates there. It'll be out in a month. Get your copy. Will it be on Amazon as well, Sean?
Yes, it will.
All right. All right. All right. So amazing to have you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. I will have you back at the end of the show. Hang tight with us. And thank you again.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll see you soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Wow. He's so great. That is crazy important not to reinforce bad behavior. And I know we do that just in general, even with our kids. But with the dogs, they're different. They're different than us. So thank you, Sean. All right. It is that beautiful time of the day for Mantra Magic. All right. What's a mantra? A mantra is a phrase or a song on a loop that is beautiful, that helps us reprogram the mind, where so often we're saying things that aren't true, like you're not good enough, or life is hard, or this always happens to me, and things like that just simply aren't true. And so this is the mantra. We get to have it today, as always, from beautiful Kelsey Garcia. She is a professional singer and a beautiful friend of mine, and she's committed to these mantras every week. You can find it on Instagram. Let me put it up here for you. At Amy Joy Coaching. You can find it every week and you can get them in your head and singing it throughout the day, and it really makes a difference. And here's this week's mantra.
Hi guys, welcome back to Mantra Magic. My name is Kelsey. So good to see you and have you. This week it is about taking action, because we know as we manifest there's always divine timing, and that's going to be sometimes delays or very quickly depending on where you're at. It's always based on yourself, right? So sometimes we're always counting on manifesting, but you need to take action as well. So that is our mantra this week. I hope you enjoy. Thank you so much. Lead the way and take the space. Do it with that love and grace. But don't forget, it takes action. Do it now or lose the traction. Lead the way and take the space. Do it with that love and grace. But don't forget, it takes action. Do it now or lose the traction. Go get them, guys. Get what you need. Put the work in. Have a beautiful week, guys. Thank you.
Yay. All right. Go to Instagram, Amy Joy Coaching, if you want to catch up on the mantras from past weeks. It's amazing to reprogram the mind. Well, stay tuned. Stay with us. After the commercial, we'll be back with meditation moment. That's where we will take 5 minutes to just chill the mind, chill our hearts, chill our bodies, and just bask in bliss. And at the end, I'll be sharing a blessing with you. So stay tuned for meditation moment right after this commercial.
This world is changing more and more every day, and we've decided to change right along with it. My name is Dr. Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the president of Trajectory TV Network. At Trajectory, our vision is to provide a comfortable, creative platform for top content creators and storytellers from around the globe. We're also dedicated to providing this world with content that is healing, educational, empowering, exciting, and above all else, entertaining and transparent. So right now, I invite all of you who believe yourselves to be global game changers to use the link found here and simply take a chance. Schedule a virtual chat where you'll have the opportunity to share your vision for your very own global television show with me, the network president. So use that link, and together, let's begin changing and healing this world, one story at a time. And remember, whether you have years of experience in front of the camera or zero experience, it doesn't matter. What matters the most is your desire to share great content through television and a willingness to share it with passion and with purpose. You might ask, how do I know if I've fallen in love with my purpose and my purpose has fallen in love with me? It's easy when you've lost your voice because you just can't stop talking about it. I'll see you soon.
All right, welcome back. Time for meditation moment. All right, why meditate? Why do that? Well, what meditation does is it gets you present. The whole point is to be here now, kind of like smiling, right? But meditation is about calming and quieting the mind and the body and just being still, just being with yourself. And will the mind run? Yes, it will. Okay. Takes years and years of practice to get long spaces of nothing. Okay. But the point is every time you realize the mind's running, just bring it back. Now, this one's really easy. It's 5 minutes. It's called the Serene Mind Practice. I learned it in India from my beloved spiritual masters, Sri Krishnaji and Sri Preetaji, at the World Center for Enlightenment. It's called EKAM, E-K-A-M, EKAM. It's changed my life. It's 5 minutes, and you can do it periodically throughout the day to just calm you and to get centered again within yourself. So I want you to just close your eyes. I'm going to play some beautiful music for you. And I want you to just sit with your hands on your lap. If you're driving, please keep driving, watching the road. Otherwise, stop whatever you're doing. I know even if you're uncomfortable about this, please just stop what you're doing and try it. It's 5 minutes. All right, take a minute and breathe. Just notice your breath as you inhale And as you exhale, and to get started, I want you to take a really deep one. Breathe deep down into your belly and make an ah sound. And now, right now, I want you to observe the emotion that you're feeling. Are you anxious? Are you happy? Are you frustrated? Are you calm? What are you? Don't make it right or wrong, good or bad. Just notice. Just observe. And now I want you to think about what thoughts are you thinking right now? Are they thoughts of the past? Are they thoughts of right here, right now? Or are they thoughts of the future? Again, no judgment, just observe. And I want you to visualize a flame flickering just in front of your eyes. A golden flame. Now move that flame slowly into the middle of your brain, into the middle of your head. And just watch it burn there. And with your hands on your heart, I want you to think of something that you're grateful for. Something you have gratitude for. And as you do that, I'm going to send you a blessing. It's a transfer of love and light. It's called a diksha. You can receive it or not. Just set that intention. And with a deep breath in, down into the belly, exhale. And with a smile on your face, come back. I am going to bring back with us the amazing Sean Knudsen. So awesome. Sean, how was that for you?
It was great. I was so relaxed. I forgot I was being interviewed. I was just feeling the moment.
Isn't that amazing how fast?
Yeah.
That was 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, that was incredible. I love that. Appreciate that. Thank you.
It's one of my favorite things. So we're going to bring on the question of the week. And the question of the week is this: how do you balance the mature masculine and the mature feminine within me? How do you balance the mature masculine and the mature feminine within me? So we are going to dive deep into this subject next week. I believe it's a super important one to discuss and to learn about. We're not taught about this, and it absolutely has affected my life for in a negative way, in a non-beneficial way. And in getting it in balance, I am much happier, much more balanced individual. So we're going to talk about that. But we just have a few seconds left, Sean. What last words do you have for the audience?
I'm excited for next week's topic because in the military environment, it's very masculine, which can be very toxic. And I think that that type of environment, they need that the most, because I know for me, I had to open up that softer, gentler, more empathetic side. And so I think that's just a great topic next week. I'm super excited for it. And, this has just been a great experience. It's always a joy talking with you. I love it. You always raise my vibration, help me connect with myself and become grounded. So I really appreciate it. And thank you.
You're welcome. So great to have you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your time and your attention. We'll see you next week. Have a great one. Remember, together we vibrate higher, and that changes the world. Yesos.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching Get Your Shit Together live with Amy Joy. If you'd like to follow us, you can on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Amy Joy Coaching. Appreciate so much your likes, comments, and shares. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please reach out. We'll see you next time.